Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is December 2nd, 2020, and this is episode 148. Today we're going to take a look at King in Black, number 1 by Marvel. And this is a Donny Cates written book, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Just want to mention that last night we did King in Black The Union. This is the regular King in Black. I believe this is the main storyline. So I'm not going to go through every bit of this story. It is a $5.99 comic for the regular edition. You get 40 pages, so that's good. And you also get more of a cardstock cover than the typical Marvel floppy usually gives us. So that was a good deal. 20 extra pages and a cardstock for $2 extra. I think we'd take that all day long. Now we've got a nice cover here. It's not really depicting exactly what's happening in the story, but you get kind of the ensemble cast that takes place here. And this is Knull, who is our main villain here. He doesn't look as villainous here as he does in the book, but this is the main cover, like I mentioned. There are many variants of this. In fact, there's one that's like this that goes from color, like this half is color and the rest is in black and white. So this was a very popular cover. Another one had Hulk. Instead of Hulk here, it's Ben Grimm, the Thing, in the same exact pose, just superimposed in there. So yeah, there's a lot going on with this one. And this is a recommend, by the way. I can't recommend yet all the other side stories that are going along with this. I am recommending The Union, which is taking place in the same type of universe, only in England. But that one's a little bit more humorous. This one's a lot more dark and more despair, much more despair. We'll go through it a little bit here. I just want to mention that as you see, Venom is the main character on the cover. He is the main character in the book. Eddie Brock, which you saw him. When I first saw this, I thought it was Thor, but it is Eddie Brock, and it's his older appearance. And he has to make sure everything's going well. They know that Knull's on the way with his army. They have had very little warning, but they're doing the best they can. So it's Avengers assemble, and Eddie turns into Mr. Venom. And you can see this. The art in here is really nice. A really nice job overall. So Eddie Brock's main thing now is to get his son to a safe place so he can keep him out of any kind of war or battles that may happen. So he knows that Knull's on the way with his army, so he gets them packed up and moved. In the meantime, at the Adventures Mountain, we've got 4 of the Avengers here: She-Hulk, Captain America, and Iron Man, and Captain Marvel. So they're discussing their plans, what they're supposed to do. It's going to be a 3-wave type of defense. But before they can really even get going, Knull's army of these, they're like dragon symbiotes, arrives. And all heck starts breaking loose. So in the meantime, we kind of get this justification. I can't even say what I'm saying. Justifies, I don't know. With Eddie Brock trying to move his son to safety, and Iron Man calling out the orders. So Eddie does get his son into safety for now, at least, and we get the King in Black logo way up here as we see the Avengers speeding towards New York City, trying to fight off this scourge. So there's a very emotional moment where Eddie says goodbye to his son. We don't know if it's the last time he'll see him, but the son wants to stay with him, and say, no, you got to stay back. So the fighting on the ground starts, and it doesn't go very well. And they are able to call in the Avengers the X-Men as well, but it's not enough. The whole thing just kind of gets overwhelmed, goes out of control. At some point, Venom goes ahead and hooks himself into one of the scourge plants symbiote plants here. And you can see the vines going into his head there. No, Hulk isn't helping out this moment. And he's being consumed by it. So what he's doing is trying to call Knull to him. And we see the Celestials coming in now. Celestials, I believe it's called Celestials now. So they haven't even seen Knull yet, and they've got these symbiote dragons or gargoyle type things, and now these Celestials are dropping in to also fight. One of them actually houses Knull, though. He pops out, and we see Knull come out. Now I'm going to stop here just because I think this may be. I got a feeling that this might be the next Marvel movie, and so if you're interested, I mean, big arc of movies. It's just been really good. It's been really tight. So if you are interested in this, you might want to buy the book and check it out for yourself. But I want to go to the back. Well, you can see. Let's go through and look at some of the other art real quick, and not because the art in here is very impressive. And no, that's not a ball of string. And you can kind of see this Venom Knull thing going on, which is pretty cool. And here's a nice shot of Venom over here. Art is just really nice, really strong. Okay, so I think I've pretty much shown you everything I want to show you at this point. So I'm going to kind of cover this up so it's not a spoiler. King in Black, the next chapter. This is chapter 1, Reign. Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman is the penciler. Inkers are J.P. Meyer, and the colorist is Frank Martin. And you can see all the different variant covers here. If you want to pause it and try to read them all, there's a ton. So, okay, moving on. There's some letters, but here's the most impressive thing. They gave you a kind of a timeline of what's going on here and what the major players are. For Knull is up here, and this is kind of the timeline, and this has already happened. It was almost a countdown, starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 10 is the one that I reviewed here about a month ago, and it says 1 month ago, and that was Wraith of Venom, Web of Venom, Wraith, and it was just a one-shot. So there were all these other one-shots that took place. I kind of was skipping them because I wasn't sure what they were, but as you can see, you'd have to go back. Well, it says, let's see if we can figure out this, 1971, 10 months ago, like 100,000 years ago. So I'm not, it says Venom number 4. So these were all leading up to where we are today with Venom right here. Pretty interesting little thing. And then they have the offshoots over here too. So, and over here. So if you are interested now, let me show the back down here again. It's Heirs to the Throne. Okay. And add for Conan. And then we've got our checklist for all the King in Black. And so this was King in Black number 1. Last night I reviewed the Union number 1. Atlantis Attacks number 5. I didn't see that in the store, so I'm not sure what that is. Next week, we've got 3 different editions of this King in Black. One is Venom, one is Hulk, and one is Namor. And the week after that is Black Cat and Symbiote Spider-Man. And the week after that is King in Black number 2. So just before Christmas, King in Black, successor to this, will come out. And that'll also Spider-Woman number 7 participating in this King in Black. And then finally, the last week of the year, we have Iron Man and Namor number 2. Iron Man / Doctor Doom number 1. So if you like Iron Man, you might want to stick around for that one. And finally, here's the cover for the next King in Black #2. And I thank you if you sat through this whole review. I hope it was well worth it for you. This is a recommend, by the way. I thought it was really well written. The art is tight, and the story just moves right along. Has really even pacing, and it's got highs and lows in it. So, if you get a chance, I would suggest you read it, because I also think maybe this could be the next Marvel Arc movie, but we'll see. Knull is a very strong adversary in this, and it shows in this first issue. It doesn't seem like there's any way they're going to get out of it. So a big hole has been dug for our heroes. So, well, thank you very much for stopping by. Please like, please subscribe, and please leave comments if you have anything to say, and we'd like to hear from you. And as always, this is Indie Comics Jones from the Temple of Tones, bidding you adieu.